So let's talk about attention and self-attention at this video. When we humans talk, we don't treat every word equally. For example, if I say Virat Kohli scored a century in Wankhede Stadium during IPL, your main focus would completely be on Virat Kohli, century, and IPL, right? Or probably in Wankhede Stadium as well. Not on small words like in, during, right? So similarly, when machines read text, they should focus more on important words and less on the filler words. And that's exactly what the attention and self-attention help the AI models do. So let's try to break it down on the front. So we'll try to understand what is attention in the first place. So it basically tells attention is first of all, attention is a very simple and powerful idea in AI, which basically changes the way that AI understand and build up a thought process around it. So it basically tells the model, hey, not all words are equally important. Focus on words that matter for the meaning. So model learns where to pay more attention and where to pay less. So imagine that you are a student and you are studying for an examination. Now, in the examination, there are going to be 10 chapters which is going to come across. Out of the 10 chapters, 3 chapters are supremely important, which means if the majority of the marks is basically going to come from the 3 chapters. So the ideal, objective is that we'll spend more time on these 3 chapters rather than on the, you know, on 7 chapters in order to score higher scores, right? And this is exactly what the attention is also going to do. So, in technical terms, every word in the sentence looks at every other word and asks, how important is this word for my understanding? The model then gives an attention scores. The higher the scores to important words, lower scores to less important words. And that's how the attention works. Now, internally, how the attention basically work is the attention basically consists of 3 parts and at a very very basic level. One is a query, a key, and then we have something called as the value. The query is basically about the words you are focusing on, right? So focusing word. A key is a word you are basically considering, and then a value is the actual word's content. So attention score between a query and key decides how much of the value to basically take into an account. A very simple formula for this one is, to, basically calculate an attention for a specific word is I'm just going saying like query is for Q, key is for K, and value is for V. Is we use a softmax and we basically are going to have a q into k to the power t into v. This is basically the formula. Now don't worry too much about the formula. You don't have to worry too much about it. This is not something that we're going to write the formula for. But yes, now softmax here is basically a normalizing the scores into probabilities. If you have gone through the mathematics, you probably know about it. Now, think it of like scanning a classroom to find out the most attentive students. So you send a query saying that who is paying an attention. Now each student who are basically a key will show their attentiveness. You pick the ones who are the most alert, which means has the highest scores, and probably ignore the sleepy ones, which has the lowest score. And the same logic goes inside the attention as well. So, let's talk about the other concept which arises from the attention is something called as the self-attention. So in self-attention, every word in a sentence looks at every other word, including itself. to decide, what to focus on. So it basically allows the model to understand the relationship between words and understand the context. So there's a, core concept behind the transformer. Suppose, for example, you are reading this, sentence. Basically, I'm going to write a text, sentence like the bank approved the loan after verifying documents. A very, straightforward. Now here the word bank could actually mean a river bank, right? Or probably a financial bank. That's something that we saw, previously as well. But because you see the other words like loan and, documents nearby, right? You understand that bank over here means a financial bank, right? And not the river bank. So self-attention helps the model figure out this meaning based upon the nearby words. So technically self-attention builds corrections between all the words. For every word, it calculates attention scores to every other word. It updates a word's meaning based on all its important neighbors. That's how the deep context understanding happens. So why these attention and self-attentions are so powerful, right? What is which basically makes this attention and self-attention more powerful? So before attention, models like RNN, so my bad, I'm just writing it now. So models like RNN read one word at a time. So it was very slow, and as we mentioned, it used to forget the long-term, context. Now, with the help of the attention and, self-attention, right, the models can basically see the whole sentence. Then they can connect, you know, the important pieces as well. So they basically connect the important pieces no matter how far apart they are. And also this process is faster using the parallel computing. And that's why transformers built entirely on attention became the foundation of today's AI boom. So if I basically have to explain this, in a bit more the mind map or a spiral diagram, we can say the RNNs are basically, how does the RNN work? It's word, 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 and it keeps on going word one after the other. On the other hand, in the case of the transformers, which is totally based upon the attentions and self attentions, right? It's like every single word that you see, right, is connected to the other word, connected to other word, which means more connections is equal to the better understanding. So right, let's quickly do a summary. Attention basically, so on summarizing it, right? So attention is about focusing more on important words, while on the case of the self attention, it's every word focuses on all other words in a sentence. So why does it matter, right? Why it matters so much is because it understands the understand context, processes long sentences, and also makes the AI model, faster and smarter. faster and smarter. Which means, you know, without attention, modern AI would just not exist. So, friends, the concept of attention may sound as simple, but it has completely changed the AI. From chatbots to search engines to smart recommendation system that you see, everything uses attention today. So next video, we'll deep dive into the architecture of an AI, which means we'll talk about the complete transformers architecture in general. We'll see how the attention layers are stacked to build intelligent system. So see you in the other video. Thank you.